think Kmart would be the worst bag to get your money in.
Are they still in business?
I think there's a couple, yeah.
My grandma super pissed at Kmart because something about Kohl's Cash, and they like took away her Kohl's Cash, and now she'll never shop there again.
But that's Kohl's.
That's because Kohl's Cash only works at Kohl's.
Isn't Kohl's and Kmart the same thing?
No.
Your grandmother was slightly confused, I think.
So wait, are you telling me that my grandma's Kohl's Cash still exists?
Yes.
Yeah.
She just has to use it at Kohl's.
Very different stores.
That's awesome. All right, we're back. Welcome back to nanodosing. Got the whole squad cooking except for Arian. Arian is on a flight right now. He's going to join us for the full macrodosing on Thursday. Got a great episode coming out on Thursday, by the way. Everyone's talking about this brand new movie everyone's been talking about for years, historical drama. It's going to really shake up the way that people think about the last, 70, 60 years of American life and world life too. That's right. I'm talking about Barbie. I can't wait for Barbie to come out. Now we're going to be talking about the Oppenheimer movie. We're going to be talking about the Manhattan Project on Thursday. So that's going to be fun. And also Barbie is coming out, which I am thinking about making it a double feature. I've purchased my tickets to Oppenheimer. Going to be checking that out in theaters. No one told me how it ends. I don't want any spoilers. I want to go in surprised, but I'm thinking about tacking on the Barbie after show for that. I feel like that'll be a nice palate cleanser after you watch Oppenheimer, right? Which apparently is pretty intense, like edge of your seat type stuff. And from what I'm reading, one of the weirdest sex scenes of all time.
Yeah, 15 minutes? Is that real?
I don't know if it's 15 minutes.
I keep seeing 15
sex doesn't
minutes.
last 15 minutes, Big T.
I keep seeing 15 minutes and that it's shot from quite the angle is what I've read.
I'm hearing that it's shot from full backle nudity. So
Yeah.
it's like
What's that?
the back of the Cillian Murray's ass and then his balls. It's the most sexual of all the angles that you can shoot intercourse from.
I'm just saying, this is like about the nuclear bomb. Does the sexual proclivities of the scientists who created it like really matter in the context?
That's the O-bomb. Yeah, it does. I think that they should include more gratuitous, raunchy sex scenes of all these old historical figures. Like Lincoln should have had a 15-minute long sex scene with his long, skinny-ass legs and his droopy balls probably hanging down between his knees, just thwacking against Mary Todd's calves.
I want more like, creative representations of his wrestling skills. I think that would have been more... That's pertinent to the story because Lincoln was a crazy wrestler, and like all the feats of strength he's recorded of doing, they should have recreated those in any sort of Abe Lincoln biopic.
Totally.
Yeah. JFK should have had a sex scene.
That I agree with.
Gandhi. Did Gandhi have a sex scene?
Gandhi would just lay in beds with underage girls and claim to never touch them. And he'd say, he was like, oh, look at how pure I am. I can lay in bed with an underage girl and not do anything.
Wow. Great job, Gandhi. What a hero.
Yeah.
That was his proof for.
Yeah. He'd literally just be like, yeah, look, there's so much temptation, but I didn't do it. I was like, why are you even that's just weird in general.
Yeah. If you're bringing it up like there is temptation, then that makes you a weirdo right from the get-go.
PFT, can I ask you an old man question about your viewing of Oppenheimer?
What the fuck is that about, Big T?
No, this is from my perspective.
Yeah, but you're asking me as an old man.
I am asking you a question that people are going to call me old for asking this.
Pretty defensive, PFT.
And you're asking for another old man.
Just when I ask you the question, you'll understand why it's pertinent.
Okay.
What were your options of times to see Oppenheimer on Friday night? What times were available?
There was 1 p.m. There was a 3 p.m. showing. There was a 6 p.m. showing. There was a 10:20 showing.
Precisely. It's everywhere I've seen it, 6 and 10. It's a 3-hour movie. That's horse shit.
Those are bad times to see a movie.
Where's the 7:45? That's
agreed.
6 is too early. 10 is far too late.
Yeah, 100%. I'm with you because it's like you go see that movie at 6. You're not going to have dinner beforehand. You're going to have like a late snack. You're going to be very, very hungry when you get out. If you go to the 10:20 showing, you're not getting out until like 1:20, 1:30 in the morning, and you're not going to be in the right mind space to fall asleep at night.
Precisely.
This is why more people got to wear cargo pants, because you can sneak a full meal into a movie theater in cargo pants. I've done it.
What kind of
have
full
no
meal are we
trouble
talking about
believing
comes
that.
in?
Chipotle, Chinese food. If you have
not.
I brought Chinese food into a movie theater. My cargo pants.
In your pants.
In my pants. My cargo shorts too. I know it's hot, so the cargo pants might be a little, like suspicious. I can fit like a couple of like fried, like they're perfect for the pockets. Those like, what are they?
Egg rolls?
No, but what's the Chinese, like the containers? What are they called?
I would call it a Chinese food container.
Yeah, a Chinese food container, like the white ones with that can unfold and are like folded up, like they're almost like origami. But yeah, those fit perfectly into cargo pants and keep them upright, and you can like take a full fried rice, lo mein, everything in.
Billy's walking around like a transformer with Chinese food containers in his pants, thinking nobody notices.
Yeah,
you're just putting minimum wage employees in a position to stop you, which they're not gonna do.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's like the classic tweet from Alaskan Carl. You remember that back in 2017? I spilled baked beans all over myself watching Cars 2 in theaters, and a black teenager shouted, "This N-word eating beans," and everybody laughed.
Yeah. But
that's Billy.
Exactly.
Billy's eating Chinese food, bringing out lo mein in the movies.
Well, I mean, as an underage kid, sneaking beers into movie theaters was like one of the only places you could booze without, getting harassed.
It was ridiculous that we went so long as a society where we were expected to go to the movies and not drink alcohol. Why was that not even an option? Like, it's crazy that it's only been the last 10, 15 years that it's become a real thing in America where they have movie theaters that serve booze. That's ridiculous. Like, imagine if it was like that with a concert where you had to go to a concert, and they should sell beer at every event.
Dude, I watched Cocaine Bear, and it was one of my first times going to a movie theater, and there was like a bar, and I was just like, fuck yeah, let's get hammered and watch Cocaine Bear. And it was one of my best movie viewing experiences.
If you go back and you look at the box office ticket sales for Snakes on a Plane, you have to remind yourself, people went to see this movie completely sober. And it still did that well. It's crazy. Imagine what the numbers would be like if you could get a couple shots of Jack Daniels when you went in.
The Regal at Union Square has 32-ounce orchards.
Whoa.
Big boys.
Good spot.
32-ounce. Wow.
I'm pretty sure they were 32. It was big.
That's bigger than a 24, so that's like a tall boy.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're not in cans. It's draft.
That's so you're basically getting like a movie theater sized soda, but it's Angry Orchard,
which you need at Regal now, because while I still support Regal, Knoxville, Tennessee based company, they switched to Pepsi during COVID, which is just unfathomable. Mm-hmm. So now you go there, you're like, oh, I want an ice cold refreshing Coca-Cola with my delicious buttery popcorn. Is Pepsi okay? No, it's not.
I was sitting at a hot dog place eating a couple dogs, and there's these construction workers next to me, and the place sold Mexican Coke, and I overheard them telling each other, like, one of them was like, no, the Mexican Coke actually not only does it have real sugar, it actually has a little bit of cocaine in it. And they were actually believing it. And I was just like, I'm not gonna rain on their parade if they want to believe that the Mexican Coke has real cocaine in it.
They should sell actual cocaine Coke just as a treat. Just let us taste what it was like. I always wonder about that. Like, how much Coke was actually in a can of cocaine or how much cocaine was in a can of Coke back in the day?
Someone's had to have tried to make original Coca-Cola formula, like with the cocaine. Like, someone must have known how they made it back when there was cocaine in it. And like,
I'm not a drug guy, but I would like to try it.
It's kind of insane it's still called Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Like, it's from the coca plant, right?
Cacao leaves, I mean, they hand them out in Peruvian airports for the altitude sickness, I heard.
Is that true?
The leaves to chew on.
That's a real thing. When you fly, I've never been to Peru, but I have been to Ecuador. And when you fly into Quito, it's like twice as high as Denver is. It's like 2 miles up, and the altitude sickness will get you. They tell you to just eat a bunch of chocolate before you get there.
I was at altitude the other day, and I got like, I was pretty good like breath wise, like when I was running and everything, but my body just got achy. And turns out your tissue expands under less pressure, and your joints just like get super, just like inflamed and banged up.
Where were you running?
Up a mountain.
At altitude?
At altitude.
What mountain?
It was about 7,500 feet up.
This is where Billy gets really weird.
That
and,
didn't
like,
answer the question at all.
But it was a
Doesn't
range.
answer
It was a
questions.
range of mountains.
It was a range of mountains.
It was a range.
An undisclosed range.
As most tend to be.
Are you keeping this mountain a secret
Yes,
from
it's
everybody
a
else?
secret
Are you
mountain.
gatekeeping the mountain?
I'm gatekeeping the mountain.
I want that guy
What
on
state?
TikTok who, when people are like, I got this sandwich and I'm not going to tell you where it is because it's so good, and then he finds it, I want this guy to find Billy's mountain.
Nope.
Yeah.
I'll never find the mountain.
What kind of trees were on this mountain?
Douglas firs.
Okay. All right, we're narrowing it down. Was it in the state of Vermont?
No.
Pennsylvania.
No.
New York? Yes. That was a yes.
No, it was no, it was in Montana.
Okay. It was a mountain in Montana that Billy was running up, but he's
Yep.
not going to tell you which one.
Yep.
How's Montana?
It's dope. A lot of
What did you
mountains.
see out there?
A lot of mountains to run up. Elk.
So weird. You're so weird, Billy.
Uh,
You're so weird. I don't
so-
know. What are you trying to hide from us?
do you know this Rex? So have you been reading up about the Gilgo Beach murder?
I have not.
It's pretty wild. This Rex Horman guy. So apparently his neighbors.
Thought we were doing mountains.
his
We're
neighbors.
talking about Montana.
His neighbors were like,
Did you see Old Faithful?
no. His neighbors were like, totally not surprised this guy was the murderer. He was an absolute
like
creep.
4 tourists every year get killed by bison when they try to take a selfie with them.
Yeah,
Good.
because they're and guess
Should be more.
guess where they're usually foreign, and it's really funny.
Okay. Yeah.
does
that
I
make
mean,
it funny?
I've
It makes
seen-
it funny because they go up with their cameras and they try to take pictures really close to the bison, and they just get absolutely thrown.
I've seen the show Yellowstone as well. Yeah.
Billy's
It's a
for
classic
sure
scene,
watching like underground dark web videos of people getting killed by bison.
Oh, I did find a really insane video of the running of the bulls. And there was a traffic jam. Someone like opened the gate the wrong way, and it jammed up a bunch of the runners. And then the bulls came, and the bulls just literally jumped over all the people and like stepped on them. And
You got
it
to
was
be a
wild.
moron to do that.
I kind of
No
want to
offense to
do
anybody
it.
out there that's ran with bulls. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're the target demographic. A guy that's like, yeah, I want an adventure. I'm going to go run down a crowded, narrow cobblestone street with a bunch of animals that are confused and angry and panicking, probably want to kill me.
I think that would make an amazing video if I got a GoPro on and ran away from the bulls.
It might. It's kind of fucked up what they do, though. They lead the bulls into a giant stadium, then they all get killed.
They don't all get killed. Just the
think
ones
most of
that
them do.
just the ones that are fighting that night.
I thought most of them got killed once they got into the stadium.
No, well then they do the fighting. Then they bullfight with them.
Yeah.
I was reading
I
the
don't know.
origins of it. I was writing a blog, and apparently it started when they used to just take the bulls from the countryside into the market to be, butchered. And then some guys were like, the bulls were taking too long, so they just like get the bulls pissed off and try to chase them. And then everyone just started doing it because they were bored. And then they just all started running with the bulls.
It's kind of like the Tour de France that way.
Yeah.
Did you see that video of the Tour de France this morning?
What happened?
So it's always like a street that's crowded with spectators, at least for parts of the stages. And, the bike goes past them, the peloton or whatever you call it, the group of bicyclists. And then there's a bunch of people taking selfies. And a lot of times they reach out and like try to pat them on their back. There was this one dude that was taking a video, and he had his phone out with his arm extended, and he was like catching a rider as it went away from him. And then he turned around to focus on the rest of the crew. And as he turned around, he hit this one biker in the chest, knocked him down, and it caused like a 25 bike pileup. And then he just like tried to walk away like he didn't do anything. But there's always somebody each year that gets like a little too close to the bicyclists. I would rather I'll say this. I would rather run with the bulls than sit out all day and watch the Tour de France for like 10 seconds of fun when all the bikers get past me.
Is that even
seems like-
10 seconds of fun?
No, it's not even that fun. It's maybe bicycling might be the worst spectator sport in the world.
Yeah.
I'd rather see a bullfight in person. I'd
Well, you
rather
might
see
become part of the bullfight.
Yeah, if they jump out into the crowd. Still better that I would rather get gored by a bull than sit for 8 hours in the hot French sun with other French people.
They're probably
and then watch
drinking.
a couple bicyclists go by.
They're probably like drinking champagne and shit, watching.
Well, the
sitting-
French are always drinking.
Yeah,
I did see one guy with cargo pants that was on the side. Yeah, looked like he was having a good time.
I mean, they're all just trying to avoid going to work. So
That is true.
I mean, it's probably just their excuse to not go to work.
Well, they don't work in July and August.
Yeah. So they just
is that true?
they don't.
They just take the summer?
Yeah.
Not everybody in France, but a lot of people you get way more vacation time over there.
Then
And Billy is gonna like hate on French people for doing that, but you would love to be French, Billy.
I mean, they go down to the south of France, and then they get in speedos, and they smoke cigarettes, and just they don't wear tops. They
Sounds
just-
awful.
And
It
they
sounds-
just don't work.
Sounds like a terrible way to spend your summer.
Yeah. And they go to Monaco, gamble.
Billy's like the Mr. Smithers meme with all the chicks in bikinis dancing around him. He's covering his eyes. Oh God, no! Oh God, no! South of France is cool. I give my endorsement to Southern France. It's a good place.
I find that difficult to believe, but
It's kind of nice.
There's a
It's a
place
little French
outside.
geography humor right there.
It's pretty- There's a place outside Monaco called Monton, which is like the Fort Lauderdale if Monaco is Miami, and it's pretty cool. I've heard.
I'll tell you what's not going to be that cool this year is the Cannes Film Festival
what are they
because
doing?
the actors strike.
Oh.
Yeah, did you see
So,
Mark
yeah.
Ruffalo in his poor people clothes?
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't? He's out there. He's out there at their little strike with looks like he bought clothes off a painter on the street that's got little bleach stains and paint on them to show that he's one of the people.
He might have bought it like that.
let me look it up here. It might, yeah, they might be.
Oh,
like
he paid
$10,000 fans.
more for it for
Yeah.
sure.
By the way, I haven't watched the new Black Mirror except the last one. I only saw one episode. But is it true that in the writers' strike they're like actually trying to prevent like them from taking their likeness from just one audition and being able to use AI to recreate their likeness?
So what I've heard is that there's a provision that was put in because they're trying to figure out what to do about AI, especially the writers, but it's become a deal with the actors as well, where the actors are being told that what the studios are offering is that if you're a background actor, maybe an extra or, an elevated extra, whatever they call that, somebody that's very clearly visible in a background scene, they can take your likeness from that scene and they can reuse it whenever they'd like, as long as they pay you your day rate whenever they reuse your likeness in like a future project. Now, I don't know if that means, I've heard that it means a future project. So like a studio could own you and put you in the background of anything. I've also heard that it could be limited to that one movie where they take your likeness and then if they want to do another day of shooting and they don't want to hire the same people to come back and be around and handle all those logistics, then they could edit you into the background using AI as a background actor in that same film. So obviously it's way worse if they could just do it for any movie that they wanted. It's still probably not great if they can just do it, like any day that they want, because there is like a cascading effect from that, where if you have a bunch of extras around that you're paying to be around all day, then there's, craft services, a bunch of like caterers that won't be getting the same amount of money to feed the same amount of people.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff. that will be different. And basically they're trying to figure out what to do about AI for the future of films. And all I'll say is I don't know the details about any of the strikes, but I do know that the studio heads are making a shitload of money, and if you're like a struggling actor, you're not doing well. Like, yeah, the top ones, like Mark Ruffalo, it's kind of ridiculous that he would ever, like, no one's going to feel sorry for Mark Ruffalo. But if you're an up and coming actor, then whatever you negotiate this time is probably going to have some effect on you for the next, 5, 10, 20, 30 years. So you feel for those guys and girls, but you don't really, like the stars, who gives a shit about them? They'll be fine.
I think this would be a fun game. So this is going off those internet net worth things that we know are wrong, but it's all we have to go on. If you were to guess Mark Ruffalo's net worth according to one of these things, higher or lower than Arian Foster's career earnings?
That's a fun game.
I have to say,
You think Mark Ruffalo, does he have any equity, or does he get any
He's got-
back end off the Marvel movies?
yeah. So he's I think over.
Higher.
It is $2 million lower.
Oh wow!
Whoa.
Shout out Arian.
Wow.
I'm seeing $35 million for Mark Ruffalo.
It's got to be higher than that now. It's probably those.
Again, those things are wrong, but it's, I don't know what else to go on.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it has people we work with's network like really wrong.
Yeah, I just said they're usually wrong, but I don't have anything else to go on. I'm seeing 35 several places, so I'm sure that's a rough estimation, but that'd be a good find some actors around in that range and play higher or lower.
Who else would be like a similar to a Mark Ruffalo? Like Paul Rudd, I feel like has to be way higher.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, way higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rudd's swimming in it. He's had a long career too.
Ruffalo.
Yeah, I
getting-
see 70
Rudd-
for Paul
Rudd's
Rudd.
career is like a punter. He's just been around for forever. He's still going to keep cashing those checks. He's got a job to do, and he does it really well.
What about Leslie Mann?
Who is that?
Oh, she's married to Judd Apatow. Love her.
Yeah.
Lower.
I'm gonna say lower.
She was in George of the Jungle though.
Wow. Now, this has to be Judd Apatow money,
What?
It
Right.
might be.
because I'm seeing 150.
Oh, that
Whoa.
makes.
That's got to be Judd Apatow money.
Well, George of the
Probably, yeah.
Jungle. Well, she's been in a couple. Like, how much do these people get paid a movie?
She's only in like Judd Apatow movies now though.
Oh.
Or like a
Yeah, but
lot
those
of what
movies
she does.
kill.
Exactly, but that's what I'm saying is that I bet she's getting a nice stipend for that. Or do you think she's getting paid more or less to be in her husband's movies? Maybe
Well,
less.
some of them she might get writing credits on too. So she would make some money on the back end. I don't know how that works.
What does it say about Judd Apatow's net worth?
Hold.
I'm gonna guess
Oh, yeah,
250.
160. So all of that is Judd Apatow's money.
okay. Well,
Good for her.
yeah, good for her. I just know that with the Screen Actors Guild strike, they're not going to be doing it in promo, so they're not going to be doing interviews. I don't know what the daytime talk shows are going to be doing, because that's all they worry about is just having the co-star of whatever big movie is coming out that weekend on their show. Yeah, they're not doing interviews, not doing anything like that.
Here's a good one. Antonio Banderas, higher or lower?
Higher.
Higher.
Desperado was so good.
Isn't he Puss in Boots?
Yes. Yeah, he is at 50,
Oh, yeah.
according
So-
to this website.
Wait, only 50?
I feel like it hasn't been in
I feel
a
like
lot
Shrek
lately.
money had to be pretty crazy.
But he was only Puss in Boots.
Yeah, but Puss had a pretty big role.
Puss also got his own spin-off
Exactly. So if he's got his own spin-off.
Wasn't one of the actresses or actors in Shrek, didn't they get offered like a percentage of all the royalties and they turned it down in exchange for like a higher fee for just doing the voices? Was that Cameron Diaz?
It might have been Eddie Murphy.
I don't know about this.
Somebody did. We'll have our best researchers on the case.
Shrek.
So Big T, did you see the news about University of Tennessee football?
There's been quite a bit of news. Which piece of news?
How many wins are you vacating?
11, I think, which doesn't matter at all.
That's a big season.
It's 2 seasons,
Oh, it's 2 seasons. Okay.
which is
All right,
why
so
it doesn't matter.
2 seasons worth of wins. And what were the exact violations?
Well, there were over 200, so it'd be hard to count. But listen, we hired the worst cheaters to ever live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's embarrassing that you had 200 violations that resulted in 11 wins over the course of 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, we had some of the dumbest people to ever do it running that program, and that's why we got them out. It would have probably been better to just pay Jeremy Pruitt $12.5 million than go through a 3-year thing with the NCAA, still have to pay an $8 million fine. But whatever, it's over. We beat the charges. I mean, no postseason ban. We got that taken off the table. We're good again. So it's fine. Did you see Pruitt's, there were some outstanding quotes that came out of those NCAA investigations, though. Did you see those?
I didn't see the quotes.
So I sent you the one from Brian Niedermeyer, who said he had withdrawn large amounts of cash from his bank account, coincidentally always on recruiting weekends that they weren't even supposed to be having because it was a COVID dead period. Nobody was supposed to have anybody on campus. And the NCAA asked him why he was doing that, and he said because he still shared a bank account with his parents, making $350,000 a year, and that he didn't want them to see that he was going out drinking and that his girlfriend was spending a lot of his money because they didn't like her. And then Jeremy Pruitt was asked about so the infamous McDonald's bag thing that was actually a Chick-fil-A bag.
Yeah. Okay, back that up real quick. For those who might not know about the infamous McDonald's bag.
On the day that, I think it was like first day Pruitt was fired, Dan Patrick said on his show that he had heard that Tennessee was paying recruits in cash that they were handing out in McDonald's bags, which wasn't exactly true. One time, Pruitt gave the mother of a player $300 in a Chick-fil-A bag. And what he said, this quote's unbelievable. Pruitt said a player's mother showed up in the parking lot outside the UT football complex in tears because of financial hardship. She told him she had nowhere else to turn for money to pay her bills. Pruitt admitting giving her the cash from his car where he typically stored it. He told investigators he felt sorry for her because of the financial strain caused by the COVID shutdown and that UT's Student Assistance Fund, which is used for student athletes with hardships, was tapped out. And Pruitt said his privilege, her race, and social unrest were on his mind. Quote, then you throw in George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, okay? So you sit there as a white man and you see all of this going on and you can see these kids suffering. It's pitiful when you sit in a room and hear grown men, I'm talking about our coaches too, when they talk about growing up in the circumstances they've been under because it's hard for a white man to understand.
Did he just blame white guilt for recruiting violation?
Kind of. Here's the thing about Jeremy Pruitt.
What?
I think he was a nice, well-intentioned man who was wholly unqualified for the job he had.
Yeah, I mean, he got 11 wins in 2 seasons.
And he, like, I don't hate him because he was just like, he was a simple man who seems nice enough and like he'd be a great guy that you'd want to hang out with. Should not have been the head coach at the University of Tennessee. Clearly.
Yeah, that's a fact. Now, when it comes to the type of fast food container that you're getting your cash in, what fast food company do you think you would prefer to get $300 in cash from? Like in a bag, if you were to narrow it down to like Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Burger King, Roy Rogers, throw that wild card in there, Arby's, Taco Bell, Wendy's.
Chick-fil-A feels the highest brow of all of those. It does. It feels more respectable.
It does. When we all heard McDonald's bags, that was like, oh wow, this kind of sucks. When I heard Chick-fil-A, I was like, let's hear him out. let's hear him out. At least he chose the right receptacle. That's way better than McDonald's bag. Now, what if he handed that to her on a Sunday? That would feel almost like you were stealing.
Yeah, on Sunday you've got to go.
Raising Cane's would probably be the best bag to get your cash in.
Agreed. Raising Cane's.
They just opened the new store up by Times Square.
I know. I want to go before I move.
We can Uber Eats it to the office.
No, you can't.
No, they won't deliver that far. We tried.
Oh, damn. Or maybe we should deliver it as far as it can go and then just meet them there.
Totally.
Or we just go. Also, there's one in Union Square opening up too.
They've said that for years. It's never actually opening.
No, it is. I see it all the time. I pass it all the time.
By the way,
What would be the least classy bag to get your money in?
Burger King?
No,
Yeah,
Burger King got some solid
No.
sandwiches.
Or like White Castle?
Burger King would be a trash ass bag.
Crystal.
What's that?
Oh, a White Castle adjacent establishment.
Cookout.
No.
Cookout would be
I
nice.
am officially saying Cookout is mid. It is mid.
But you're not.
It's not even super cheap anymore.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not.
Cookout's not supposed to be amazing.
I know, but it's supposed to be cheap and fast.
It is.
I think Kmart would be the worst bag to get your money in.
Are they still in business?
I think there's a couple, yeah.
My grandma super pissed at Kmart because something about Kohl's Cash, and they like took away her Kohl's Cash, and now she'll never shop there again.
But that's Kohl's.
That's because Kohl's Cash only works at Kohl's.
Isn't
not Kmart.
Kohl's and Kmart the same thing?
No.
No.
Your grandmother was slightly confused, I think.
So wait, are you telling me that my grandma's Kohl's Cash still exists?
Yes.
Yeah.
She just has to use
yeah.
it at Kohl's.
Very different stores.
That's awesome.
Wait. What isn't Kmart?
No.
No.
They just start with the same letter.
But it's also the same sort of looking.
Nope. It isn't.
Your grandmother's got like a bunch of Camel Cash from the 1980s when she used to smoke cigarettes, and she took it into like an outdoor store to get a Camelback water pack. And she's like, "Why is it? It's not working here."
I actually think they discontinued Kohl's Cash.
I don't think so.
Something happened and they took away my grandma's Kohl's Cash, and she just won't go back. I think she only shops at I think Target's her new spot.
They should not be allowed to discontinue any store brand cash.
They took
If you
away.
start a program, that cash should exist in perpetuity for as long as your store's open.
Do you remember they took away the Uber rewards?
Yeah.
That was like last year. Took away the Uber rewards, and you could like cash it in for Uber One, or like other stuff. But that's kind of fucked up.
Mm-hmm. If somebody handed me a bag filled with cash from Taco Bell, I would be so pissed off that there wasn't Taco Bell inside, that it was just cash. I'd be like, just give me the cheesy gordita crunches. I don't need the $300.
Also,
Just cut out the middleman.
why does $300 need to be in a bag? That's at most 15 bills
Yeah, that's a handshake.
Yeah.
and should be 3 bills.
It should be 3 bills. If you're the head coach of a state university, you should carry around large denominations for sure.
Particularly if you're giving it out to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that comes on campus.
Have you ever thought about how good magicians must be at bribing people?
No, I haven't, but that's a good point.
Just like
I don't think they bribe people.
Well, I mean, if you had to, like, let's say you're bribing a bouncer, or you're like bribing someone, and they're just like, "Oh, something's behind your ear."
Oh, I thought you meant bribing like audience members
Oh no.
to like go along with
well,
trips.
probably.
But I mean, we saw O's come in here and he did all that shit, and I certainly wasn't bribed.
You're
I would
saying-
love to have been
Yeah,
bribed.
but you're telling me that like if O like said, "Oh, check your pockets," and there was just money in it, and he was just like I would accept that bribe in a second. I think it shouldn't
Yeah.
be illegal to accept bribes from comedians magicians, because they're probably insanely good at bribing.
That's not
They
illegal.
tricked you. They tricked you. Yeah.
I mean,
it's not
depending on
illegal
what
if you're-
position you're in.
Yeah, no, accepting bribes in a lot of scenarios is illegal.
If
He
you're
goes and
like a
visits
government
Rob
official
Blagoj-
or something.
Rob Blagojevich's office, and all of a sudden there's a briefcase full of $200,000 underneath his table.
What's he doing these days?
He's had quite the glow up, I think, after he got out of prison, right? We kind of welcomed him back into the mainstream.
People forget that was Obama's seat that he was selling.
Yeah. Well, go back one step further. You know who is convinced that he would have beaten Obama in the race for Illinois State Senate the year that Obama won?
Who?
Mike Ditka.
Huh.
He's probably right.
A bunch of people asked Mike Ditka to run for that state Senate seat and to go up against Obama, and he said no, that he didn't want to run for office. Obama wins. A couple years later, Obama gives a speech at the DNC. A couple years later, Obama is the front runner for the Democratic nominee for president of the United States. You can trace a direct line back to Mike Ditka deciding, you know what, I'd rather spend my time at the desk of NFL Live talking about football than beating Obama. And that's why Obama became president. And without Obama, there's probably no Trump, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not.
Probably not. He was it was a backlash to Obama, and also he kind of raised his profile by doing the whole birther thing.
I mean, if Trump may have run after Hillary if Hillary became president.
He might have, yeah. Yeah, probably. He probably would have been even more Trump. He would have been more extreme. Hillary would be in jail right now. We'll put it that way. Hillary would be in prison.
She was supposed to be when he became president.
Yeah, he would, but she would definitely be in prison right now if Mike Ditka had run for state senate in Illinois in like 2002.
He was too busy making Kicking and Screaming. Great film.
Yeah,
So good.
crazy sliding doors moment. So there was one other thing I wanted to get into. Let's see. Are you teed off about anything, Big T?
Not necessarily teed off. Have you watched Quarterback on Netflix?
I'm going to get started today.
Don't spoil it, please.
So I'm not. I mean, all this stuff happened a year ago. I don't know if you want me to ruin the ending, but the Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
What?
My sister and I were like watching it, and we would be like watching the games, like because we're Bills fans, and we'd be like, "Oh, do we have to rewatch this?" But we'd be watching it as if it was happening. Like we knew the ending, but we were like, "Oh no, what's gonna happen?"
My girlfriend was asking me during every scene, "Do you remember what happened in this game?" Like, no, not really. But Kirk Cousins. All time awesome. I love Kirk Cousins now.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Awesome
I
dude.
do too.
Like seriously, like watch that show and tell me you don't love Kirk Cousins.
That's the crazy thing when it comes to Kirk Cousins is he is without a doubt the nicest guy in the world. If he was he'd be the perfect neighbor. You can't design a neighbor any better than Kirk Cousins. He'll probably come shovel your driveway at like 4:30 in the morning. He'll take out his new like $5,000 weed whacker and just like edge up the strip of your lawn that goes between the sidewalk and the street without you asking him to. He would be an all-time neighbor, just a great dude. And it's hard because as a Washington fan, I dealt with many years of Kirk Cousins, and looking back on it, I realized that I was upset at Kirk for being good enough to give me hope and then not good enough to ever fulfill that hope. And so that's more of a me problem than a Kirk Cousins problem. So I've kind of like flipped my paradigm on Kirk. I'm going to be rooting for him this year.
If
He's perfect for Minnesota.
If he was a little bit less good, not if he was a little bit better, if he was a little bit worse, people would like him more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because he's just
agree.
good enough to be pretty good, but like not at that elite level.
Well, he's also good enough and smart enough with the timing of his contracts that he broke the system. Like he beat the owners in the NFL when it comes to figuring out how to maximize your career earnings. Cause he got franchise tagged. He got transition tagged, I think, or maybe he got franchised twice in DC. And then he got guaranteed money to go to Minnesota. And then he got another guaranteed contract on top of that. And guess what? He's about to get another guaranteed contract in, I think, a year. By the time it's all said and done, I think Kirk Cousins will have made. Billy, guess off the top of your head. How much will Kirk Cousins have made?
I want to say 150.
No, you're not even close because he's at 200 right now.
He will have made, I think, over $300 million by the time he retires from the NFL.
He signed, so starting in 2017, he signed all these one-year deals. 26 million, 28 million, 40 million, 21, 40.
Pretty good.
And then this year he's making 30. So after this year, he will have made $231 million.
Wow.
Yep. And then he's going to get another big contract from somebody if he stays healthy this year.
He's how old?
I actually think
he's
the
fixing to be
Vikings-
35.
Mike McCartney.
They're my sleeper team this year.
That'd be a good future to bet.
Was that Billy?
Mike McCartney is his agent. Because I was like, who the hell is this guy's agent?
Solid
That's
job.
awesome. He's done an amazing job. How much?
Solid job. What? he was also, I think, a 4th-round pick. And so he didn't make that much money off his rookie deal. And then ever since then, he's cashed it in. So I think the criticism comes with the paycheck that he's getting. Like, is he worth this much money to have Kirk Cousins on your team where, that's going to make a difference on other players that you can sign? There's probably a legitimate conversation to have about that. He's probably not worth $40 million a year if it means it's going to impact other guys that you can bring in. But I mean, he's done everything that he should do to like maximize his potential. He's like a self-marketing genius.
By the way, that greatest comeback
and
ever,
a very nice guy too.
That greatest comeback ever, which I think they have in that show, was during SantaCon, and it was the most. I was trying to watch it so hard, but it was SantaCon, and I couldn't understand. Like, oh my god, are they coming back? Oh my god,
Yeah.
There's some guy in like a reindeer outfit blocking the TV, and I'm like, dude, this is happening.
If only you had gone to bars on SantaCon, then you might have been able to see some TVs and been able to watch it.
No, I did.
There are too many Santas.
So why don't you watch it?
Well, it was one of those
There's
games.
too many reindeers that were in the way.
It was one of those games that I just wish I could have actually sat down and purely enjoyed.
You could have.
Right, but
You chose not to.
No, I tried. I didn't really care about the game until it was one of the greatest comebacks ever, because everyone thought the Vikings would just blow out the Colts. And
That's how games go. You never know what's going to happen. That's why you got to sit down every Sunday.
But that wasn't the game that I was like, oh my god, I didn't think it was going to be one I had to put aside to watch and thoroughly enjoy.
But that's why they all are.
Yeah.
But Billy, it could have been the Chiefs and the Bills playing on that day. And
You were going to SantaCon.
Not going to watch because you would be at SantaCon.
Well, I maybe would have, diversified my priorities.
What does that mean? Diversify.
Okay, guys,
my
we can
prayer.
go out at noon, but from 3 to 6, we need to be somewhere, and then we can go back out.
Diversified my priorities is like Billy's saying. It would have given me. I would have thought harder about making a different choice, but I wouldn't have actually made a different choice.
No, I probably would have gone to a quieter bar to watch the game.
Mhm.
I didn't think it was going to be a good
Well,
game.
guess what? You know where they have TVs, Billy?
Where?
Sport clips.
Oh.
Sport clips.
Every chair.
Yeah, in life, you know what they say. Every chair, you're damn right, Big T. In life, 2 is always better. A double play is always more exciting than a single play. An encore is always better than the band leaving early. At Sport Clips Haircuts, you can now get twice the relaxation. That's right, twice during the Ultimate MVP Relax and Repeat event. For a limited time, the Ultimate MVP haircut experience costs the same as the MVP. How about that? They're throwing the Ultimate in for free. That means for the month of July, you get double the massaging hair time and sudsy satisfaction and double the hot steam towel. I got to go to Hair Clips. I got to go. I got to check out the double towel. Or you can cool it down and try the chilled towel, which is a refreshing heat-beating alternative that's available all month long. The Ultimate Relax and Repeat event is everything you love about the MVP. There's just more of it. So double the relaxation, all for the price of having it once. At Sport Clips, it's a game changer. At participating locations, the offer ends July 31st, 2023. So if you've been waiting to get that haircut, you got some long, shaggy hair. It's the summertime. Keep that neck cool. Keep your ears cool. Go to Sport Clips. Get double the relaxation, double the MVP experience. You get the ultimate MVP haircut experience for the same price as the standard MVP experience. Plus, they have TVs there. So no excuses if you miss a big game. Go to Sport Clips. Check it out. All right, so Big T, teed off.
That was it. I like Kirk Cousins a lot.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I like him too. I'm not ashamed to admit it.
Really good show, though.
I like Kirk. There should be a Kirk Cousins Pride Month for all of us closeted Kirk Cousins fans that are afraid to admit it most days. And listen, I've been there. I liked him secretly so much. You know what? I am the exact example of a self-hating Kirk Cousins fan. I've been covering up for the last couple of years and just going overboard with my hatred of the guy. But it's because I know deep down inside I am one. And I'm ready to say it to the world. I like Kirk Cousins. I like him a lot. Love is love.
Can we talk about the Gilgo Beach killer?
Can I get a stunning and brave?
Thank you.
Stunning.
I feel like I just came out to you guys and you're like, let's talk about a serial killer.
Unless you make out with Kirk Cousins, you're not getting any accolades.
What letters that word start with?
If Kirk Cousins,
Accolades.
if he wins the Super Bowl, I'll make out with him.
Sweet.
Does he have to consent to that, or you'll just do it?
No, I'm sure he'll be fine with it. He seems like he'd be cool with that.
Yeah.
He's such a nice guy.
He
he'd
would
feel
be
bad
totally
saying
fine
no.
with it.
Would you become a stepdad to all of his kids?
A stepdad? Like, would I marry his wife?
No, like, would you marry him and take over?
Oh, that's just dad. No, I don't think I'd marry Kirk Cousins.
I don't know if
I
you're
don't
that
think
committed.
I'd do that.
How many kids does he have?
No, I'm not.
He's probably
I'm
a
not
lot
that-
of kids guy, isn't he?
I think he has like 3.
Oh wait, I thought he had a
okay.
lot. Or
I
I'm
only
thinking,
I'm thinking of
remember
Phil Rivers.
2.
I'm thinking Phil Rivers.
It might be 2.
Philip
Yeah.
Rivers is the
Has,
one who
like-
has his 10th kid.
He's
on
having
the way.
another one, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
He's got 2 basketball teams.
Yeah.
He can run a
He's
scrimmage.
gonna have his kids. Yeah, he's gonna have his kids scrimmage each other. I think he's going. Well, this is probably his dream. He's now got 10 kids.
He wants a football team.
He's
so he can now
quarterback.
just be all-time quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Shout out to Philip Rivers' wife.
Yeah.
What a
That's
trooper.
That's crazy.
She is a trooper for that.
I wonder what the longest time period she was like
Not
pregnant for.
9 months.
She's been carrying around a diaper bag for probably 20 years.
Yeah.
How old's his oldest?
I'm looking at it.
I don't know, but imagine like every time you have another kid, you're resetting the clock on when you get to like finally relax for the first time
Yeah.
ever.
The first one was born in 2002.
Or like drink.
Yeah.
Oh,
So there's 21 years of having children.
yeah. So
That's
so his
crazy.
first kid can drink.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, at that point, you also have the oldest ones raising the youngest ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
They're approaching Duggar
You
territory.
got a lot of help.
How many is Duggar territory?
I think double digits is when it starts getting to a Duggar territory.
Hmm.
That's when TLC will start knocking.
Yeah.
Being like, what do you got going on?
Like, what's going on
Why do
here?
you have why do you have so
Yeah.
many?
And then
Yeah.
Why didn't you stop at 4?
What kind of cults is
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
they enter their estate and it's just sports.
Mhm.
He's like,
What-
whoa, I wanted them to have like friends to play with.
What
Yeah.
Southern Baptist Church denomination are you a part of?
Billy, what are you beat off about this week?
I'm beat off about this serial killer. It's like really crazy that these types of people exist. I don't understand how someone can do stuff like that. But I mean, basically from my research, this guy was an architect. From everyone he worked with, he apparently presented himself and felt that he was just like the smartest guy on earth. And he was just so much more intelligent than everyone that he worked with, the state, building inspectors, contractors, anybody. So I kind of feel like the reason why he did a lot of these things is because he thought he was so smart he could get away with it. And he's just this giant fat dude who no one in the neighborhood let their kids go to his house on Halloween because they always thought there was something weird about him. His neighbor was quoted saying, his neighbor, Mr. Furchaw, said, "I wasn't surprised at all because of all the creepiness." And apparently, it was like a running joke that he probably had killed people. But there was like 11.
That's different than what it normally is, because usually people
Yeah.
are like, "Oh, you never would have suspected a thing. This guy's like the nicest guy ever."
Yeah, he was apparently caught stealing clementines from a grocery store that like they were out there for children to have, but he was just shoving them in his pockets. And the lady was like, "You can't do that, sir." And he got like really irate and had to get escorted out of the store. But like that's almost like a Tim Robbins sketch, like a guy stealing from the take a clementine for the kids basket. But
You said Tim Robbins?
Tim Robbins, yeah. Think you can
Tim
leave.
Robbins?
Robin.
Tim Robinson, yeah.
Tim Robinson, yeah.
Tim Robbins, different guy.
Who's Tim Robbins?
Look up Tim Robbins real quick for me.
I really hope this isn't that bad.
Did you see that at
No, it's not that bad.
Oh,
at
the
this
actor?
guy's house they found a case that had a doll in it and flowers, and apparently when he had killed these people, that people left like little dolls at their memorials or whatever, And so the cops think he like went there and took it as like a souvenir.
He
He went to every service.
No, I think they made little like roadside, like put a cross like where the body was found, I think. And they would put like little dolls and flowers and stuff. And he had one in his house.
He also used to call the victims' families and like mock them from burner phones, which is just so fucked.
To me, one of the craziest parts of the story is the fact that he just stopped doing it. Because usually it's a compulsion where if you're a serial killer, you have to keep going. Like nobody ever just retires from being a serial. You don't hang up the knife and the mask. You keep going until you get caught or until you die.
I mean, maybe he didn't stop and we just don't know about the victims.
Also, just from I'm very glad this guy has been arrested, but from a pragmatic standpoint, why would you still be living in Long Island? Like, you had a decade to, like, go anywhere.
Because he thought he was smarter than everybody. He like, meticulously cleaned up his tracks, used burner phones and whatnot. He, like, I think, you know, his father was an aerospace engineer. He was an architect and would meticulously tinker in his father's workshop. I think like this guy just thought that everyone else was idiots and he could, you know, get away with all of it. But they caught him from not only he was Googling himself and like obsessed with his own case, just checking up on how the investigation was going. Like
reading his own press clippings.
Yeah. And then he was also on like he'd be in forums under burner accounts, like being like, no, that's bullshit. And he actually admitted at one point that he was the killer in one of these burners.
Wait, so he was on like internet forums of people that were trying to solve the case and he was correcting them when they were getting things wrong, or he was trying to throw them off the track?
I'm not exactly sure, but just discuss the case. From the article I'm reading, I'll find the exact quote. But apparently,
you ever wonder how many serial killers you've met in your lifetime?
That was a statistic that I kind of wished at the end of your life.
Yeah, I bet we've all met a serial killer and we have no idea.
A serial killer?
Well, it depends on the definition.
Okay, somebody who's killed more than one person on more than one occasion.
In civilian.
I'm not talking about like, you know, the guy that has like a habit where they stalk somebody and they do it once every couple months or whatever. Like that is definitely a serial killer. But I mean, for this definition, someone who's killed more than one person illegally on 2 separate occasions or more.
What about in like war?
What kind of war?
The U.S. military-industrial complex.
Are they working for like a paramilitary group? Are they working for a contractor like Blackwater? I would say Blackwater, yes, but
Blackwater
I would say in the U.S. military, if they're a U.S. military member, then those kills don't count.
Okay. What about police officers with high count?
No, I'm not going to count those either.
Okay. What if
unless they did it outside the bounds of the law?
Yeah.
If they went vigilante on somebody.
Yeah.
Statistically speaking, there's probably one serial killer that works at Barstool. Think about that.
Jesus.
No, where statistically speaking, according to whom?
Yeah, how many?
I'm just making that stat up right now so that I can get you guys to speculate on who it would be.
Well, actually, I mean,
1 out of every 300 people is not a serial killer.
There's definitely people who've worked for Barstool that have killed people before.
That's different.
But there's probably one serial killer that has worked here.
Well, statistically, statistically, how many murderers are there? How many murderers will you walk past? 36 murderers in their lifetime, but that's murder in general. One murder might have been an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Got away with it. Like more.
I think Jeff D. Lowe is a serial killer.
Huh.
He would be really good at it. He would like take all the steps. He'd have like 6 pairs of gloves on.
Francis doesn't like plays that off as a bit sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, crazy smart white guy definitely kills people. Like Dennis from Always Sunny type bit.
Jeff definitely is about to kill somebody, and then makes them give him like a fun fact or a piece of trivia that then he writes into the next game of the dozen.
I feel like he'd get way too like stressed out about like getting away with it.
It's probably true. It's always the ones you least suspect though. Glenny Balls. Glenny could be a serial killer.
He does go to a lot of different cities. Like he could kind of get away with it.
He does. He moves around a lot. And who did this Gilgo Beach killer murder?
I think he had like 10.
Well, they've only got him
11.
for 3, but there were, I think, 11 people who were killed total.
Yeah.
And they were OnlyFans models?
No, they were all they were all prostitutes, escorts.
Okay. All right. So Billy, you had a theory about this earlier.
Well, no, some of these he may have been. Someone said I was looking at like some of the reports, and some people said that they were with different men the last time they were seen. And I was like, what if he's like just like I actually don't think that this is the case anymore. Reading more into it and some of the stuff that came out today, but like maybe he was like getting rid of loose ends for people who just all happened to be like. But now that I'm reading more into it, this guy was definitely just getting off by doing this, and he wasn't serving any other purpose. The Iceman though was a serial killer that the mob like took advantage of to do hits. Like there's definitely a line where there was serial killers and then there was hitmen, and they aren't necessarily like the same type of idea, you know? Like like was the Irishman De Niro's character a serial killer?
Yeah, I guess it's I don't know what the definition of a serial killer. I think in today's society we've come to mean that serial killer is like a pathological somebody that has to do it, that is doing it for like some sick, twisted internal like psychological reason, as opposed to a hitman it's a business transaction, but they also are probably a psychopath.
Yeah. Like if they weren't getting paid for it, they probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, serial killers, they do it for the love of the game.
Yeah. Like did you see that a guy got arrested for sending in an application to hitmanforhire.com, which is like a comedy site, and he actually applied?
Yeah, I remember that.
And he was like,
that guy deserves to get caught.
Absolutely.
But that's really like a philosophical debate. Like all these mob guys, like, are they serial killers? Like these guys who commit hits and crime. Wild.
It's different. It's different. But that Iceman documentary is a must watch if you haven't seen it already. I think it was on HBO when it originally aired. I don't know where you can find it now, but this dude is a legitimate psycho. Absolutely insane. And some people are saying that he made up a bunch of this stuff to like sound more important because they can't trace back all the murders to him that he says. But as far as a nickname goes, the Iceman is a pretty good one, right? And he got that because I think he used to put people's bodies in freezers and then he'd dump them somewhere so they couldn't determine when they died because they were just frozen solid. And they called him the Iceman. If I were in charge of naming serial killers for police departments, I would give them way shittier names. I feel like if you give them cool sounding names like the Zodiac Killer or the Unabomber, that's like almost like they got to love that shit. You're encouraging more people to try to get a cool nickname.
What would you call this guy?
Micropenis.
Deter copycats.
Yeah, deter all the copycats. I think that's what the hard factor guys do. Every time if there's like a mass shooter, they just call them like micropenis number 1, micropenis number 2. But it's a good method.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to get into this week? Matt, are you made off about anything?
I don't think so.
You see Taylor Swift performed a 3-hour concert in Denver?
Yeah, she performed too. She did perform some of my favorite songs this weekend. I was upset about that, but I mean, I've already gotten my fill. No, I'm starting to get made off about how much it costs to move in this day and age, but Can't do much about that, I guess. But that's it. I don't
No.
I'm pretty positive at the moment in time.
I just found this story about an Australian sailor who survived more than 2 months lost at sea with his dog. This 51-year-old Tim Shattuck survived with his dog Bella while sailing from Mexico to French Polynesia, and then rough seas damaged their boat. And this guy went 2 months, and he didn't eat his dog. That's huge.
That's awesome.
He was like, this dog was the only reason I survived. I wanted to survive for her. The pair drifted for more than 2 months in the Pacific and survived by drinking rainwater and eating raw fish that Shattuck was able to catch. That's awesome.
Were they on the boat or
So,
floating?
They were on a boat,
Yeah.
like a broken boat.
Okay. I mean, that still
What
sucks.
kind of boat was it? It had like fishing equipment?
Yeah, but his how did it get damaged? Basically, his water purifier broke. The storm damaged his boat. It damaged their boat and its electronic system, leaving them adrift. So 2 months in the Pacific, that is terrifying.
So if you're that dog and you don't know that anything is wrong, is that just the best 2 months of your life? You just get to hang out with your owner and just like all the time be with them, eat raw fish, just chill, just be like maximum dog. The dog probably had no idea that anything was wrong.
There was probably some rationing of food and water that sucked.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like this dog was only getting like one piece of fish a day.
Yeah, probably just the scraps. But still, I feel like that's not that bad of a time if you're a dog.
Yeah. What's crazy is that apparently when like a certain number of days in, when you're like stranded at sea, you just start like thinking that different parts of the fish are like candy. So like you just get a weird urge to eat their eyeballs and like different parts of their guts.
Because of the vitamins and the different minerals that it's got.
But it's crazy that like, why doesn't your body act like that every day to make you eat healthy shit?
Because you usually get enough where you're not deficient in anything. So just from a regular diet, you probably shouldn't have these crazy cravings for stuff. But
I always find that
if you're trapped at sea for a while, then you have to, then your body your body takes over your brain. I suspect the dog, actually, the more I talk about it. I think the dog broke the engine, because that's definitely got to be vacation. The dog's pissed off when you get back. Dogs are weird like that. They will ruin your life just so that they can spend more time with you because they love you so much.
Yeah.
It's honestly toxic. It's honestly toxic vibes.
They're pretty dependent.
Yeah. I am in the market for a new dog, though. I showed you guys pictures of the new dogs that I'm looking at adopting. I can't be more excited, man. I can't be more excited to get a new dog.
All right. I wasn't going to do this, but I think everyone in this room's thinking the same thing. PFT should adopt both of the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
He shouldn't choose between two. He should get both. I'm sorry to put it out there, but PFT, he says he only wants one dog, but I saw pictures of both dogs, and he has the means to have both dogs, so he should get two dogs.
Yeah.
They're both good dogs. I don't know yet. I need to call the lady about the one today, but it's very exciting.
You don't
getting
have
back
to
into dog life.
choose. You can
I
get
know,
both.
Oh no, but I want to meet the dogs. I want to make sure that they're good dogs, that they get along. That that's the other thing is, if you adopt a dog, then if you adopt another dog, one might not like the other. One might not even like other dogs.
True.
So you got to get vibes from them. They're like a little bit, they've all got their own histories. It's not like you're raising them from tiny puppies. So, man, I'm excited. I can't wait to get back into it.
Dude, I'm actually pumped to meet these dogs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I am too. And my dog adoption process, I'm basically doing The Bachelor. I'm doing The Bachelor, but for my new dog. It's brought to you by C4. I actually had a C4 yesterday. I'm going to have a C4 here in a minute once we get done recording, because I'm going to go work out. Not a brag, just a fact. I'm going to have a C4. I have a C4 almost every single day. I've got the, the strawberry watermelon. I've got the orange one downstairs. And then I've got the bombsicle flavor as well. I love C4. I drink one almost every day. Whenever I work out, I take a C4 beforehand. C4 Energy has launched its official energy drink of the summer campaign. That's right. They claimed the trademark of official energy drink of the summer. With this campaign, they're launching a 100-day cross-country summer tour, cementing the brand as the go-to energy drink for whatever your summer holds. Whether you're looking to hit your fitness goals with performance energy, reaching your entrepreneurial or creative dreams with smart energy, or celebrating a summer of festivals and concerts with ultimate energy, C4 Energy has your taste of summer covered. I've almost gotten to the point where I can't really work out unless I have a C4 beforehand. It's that much a part of my routine at this point. So you can follow C4 Energy on social, find out where you can join C4 in a city near you. We're just in Austin. They had a big setup down there. Hank and I shotgun to C4. Follow C4 Energy on social. Find out where you can get C4 in a city near you, or also join them on their cross-country summer tour. They're probably coming to your hometown. Go out, get some free C4. Have a good time. Have a blast. Thank you. Shout out C4.
I'm drinking a C4 right now because I have to go do some more moving stuff after this. And if we all know, moving's a workout, and C4 has actually powered my move. I didn't get a moving company. I didn't spend that money, and I actually have to thank C4 because if it wasn't for the C4 I was consuming, like, who's going to carry the boats? Who's going to carry that giant cabinet? I did using C4.
Billy's carrying boats all on his own.
Yeah. Who's going to carry the boats?
Hoisting them over your head. I've been saying burn the boats a lot this summer. It's a good catchphrase. Just whenever you decide that you want to do something, let's just burn the boats.
That's
burn the boats, man.
No, it's huge. It makes just no turning back. Like we either got to do this. There's no going home. No going home.
Nope. Burn the boats. You want to have another? You want to have a shot of Malort at the bar? Yeah. Fuck it. Burn the boats. Let's do it.
Hell yeah.
No going back. All right. So what else we want to get into today before we sign off, and then we'll get into the Manhattan Project on Thursday. Anything else grabbing you guys in the news?
I have a lot of stuff to watch personally. I have to watch all the Black Mirror episodes. QB1, not QB1. Quarterback. I gotta watch Oppenheimer. I might even see the Barbie movie. I just saw a commercial. Will Ferrell is in it, and that kind of convinced me. Yeah, a lot of content I need to consume.
Billy, you want to expand more on your thoughts about Hard Knocks? I know that we touched on it a little bit yesterday on Pardon My Take, but as a Jets fan, how are you feeling about Hard Knocks?
It's going to be awesome. I mean, it's going to be great content, but I know it's not going to do well for the team. It's just another circus around the New York Jets. I mean, Sam Darnold in our Pardon My Take interview said that, oh yeah, the New York media, like, no, it doesn't affect like individuals. It doesn't affect the team. But he then admitted that it did later. Like, the guy didn't want to say, like, oh, yeah, no, like, the media couldn't affect me. Like, it's a football guy answer. But the truth is, like, it did. And now we're going to have this whole circus around the first, like, you know, really well put together Jets team in a while. And I think it's going to be a distraction. I wish it didn't happen. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want it to happen. I'd actually be surprised if he even, like, let them like even participated in
it. Can you opt out?
I hope he opts out.
I think just reasons.
I think Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers should both opt out because they're gonna want to make some crazy story about MILFs and making each other's lives hell and ayahuasca and you know, it's going to be bad for both of them. For the sake of the franchise, I hope neither of them step on camera. You know, do your stories about rookies. You know, there's definitely guys with great personalities, but just like make sure like Zach Wilson and Aaron Rodgers just focus on the game. Like let Mekhi Becton talk about dinosaurs.
You know what's funny is that Billy keeps lumping in Zach Wilson with the Aaron Rodgers conversation, because he still definitely believes in Zach Wilson. Low-key, you think that Zach Wilson is better than Aaron Rodgers.
I think the guy, he just has like his ceiling. If he gets his mind together, his ceiling is crazy.
You saw that one throw that he had at his pro day, and then you're like, why don't they build the entire plan out of Zach Wilson's cross-body off-platform 70-yard throw?
No, but like, for example, there are guys in the draft that can't make like the same athletic throws that he can. Like generate the same power, velocity, arm angles. Like he had, you know, a rough start. He made really bad mistakes. He, you know, like he was trying to do too much. But like at the end of the day, if you make him just like play conservative football, like there's some serious, there's some serious upside still if he studies under Aaron Rodgers and is able to.
That velocity and all that shit doesn't really matter that much. Like, it's nice if you have a quarterback that can do all that, but you have to be able to play quarterback first.
Yeah. And like even Josh Allen, if you look at Josh Allen, like he's got such a monster arm that it gets him in trouble sometimes.
Yeah, but his arm's better. And also he's way better at running than Zach Wilson is.
Right. But he's gotten in trouble playing Superman ball because he got a little reckless with it.
Mm-hmm. I just love the fact that you can't quit Zach Wilson.
I can't.
For what reason, I don't know.
Because, I cannot wait for Aaron Rodgers to take over. But I'm thinking long term here. Like, I'm thinking dynasty.
You're ridiculous. But I am excited about Hard Knocks. They made the right choice. It was either going to be the Jets, the Bears, or the Commanders, and I'm glad they took the Jets. Much better storylines in all three of those. So I'm looking forward to Billy's recaps on it because he's just going to be like, yo, dude, this team is sick. And I don't think that a team that's ever been on Hard Knocks has been good, right? Am I forgetting one?
The Jets did go to
the Lions last year. Oh, yeah, that's right. The Jets went to an AFC championship game. Good point. And also the Lions, they kind of won their own Super Bowl last year, which is beating the Packers in week 18. That was cool.
The year the Falcons were on it, I think they were still good.
Yeah.
I might be wrong about that. Hang on.
I kind of forgotten about that team, to be honest with you.
Oh, the
Falcons.
Falcons.
I'm obsessed with.
The Falcons are 2014, so they weren't good yet.
I'm obsessed with the crossover grids, like the gridiron grid. Have you guys played those games yet?
I only do Immaculate Grid for baseball.
I imagine that you're pretty good at it.
I'm pretty good. I know people who are way better than I am. I wouldn't do well on NFL. College, if there's somebody, if you're an engineer out there, make a college football Immaculate Grid because that would be awesome.
For players that have transferred?
I mean, you could do that now. You'd have to do a lot of stats and stuff. But you could probably do now, like, I mean, in 5 years, you could for sure. I mean, guys will have played for 3-4 teams.
Or coaches. You could have coach grid.
Mm-hmm.
My secret weapon in Immaculate Grid is Jason Campbell. Just a little pro tip for everybody out there. If you're doing NFL Immaculate Grids, Jason Campbell has played for so many teams. It'll blow your mind. So he's always a good – and whenever I get him right, it's always like 0.9% of people correctly guess Jason Campbell for this answer. There's like a million other better ones out there. But all right, that does it for us for this nanodosing. We'll see you guys on Thursday. Manhattan Project, Oppenheimer. Should have the whole squad here. Maybe a special guest. We'll see. Not sure yet, but should be a good episode.
Please
see you guys then. I'm gonna go drink a C4.
Please send me any and all information about the Manhattan Project that you think's interesting. This is going to be one that's going to require a lot of research. So not that, any help is really accepted, but I want to, make sure we hit every single, turn over every leaf of little cool information. So
don't send any lies to Billy about the Manhattan Project. No matter what you do, no lies.
No.
Billy, I want you to run through like your best tips that you've gotten.
I know, I will. The thing is, like, there's so many episodes that we do, and then someone DMs something that's like such a great little fact that we just didn't include, and that always just tears my heart out when it's like, shit.
Yep.
Like, so why didn't I find
that?
Don't
break Billy's heart. Don't break Billy's heart. Let him know about the fun facts before the episode comes out.
Perfect. And I'll gather them all, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to be a blast.
We're going to prime you to go see. Boom. There we go. Love it. See you guys on Thursday. Love you guys.